Have you ever met someone on an online dating site and thought, wow, this guy is perfect for me, or she is simply amazing, only to find out they were hiding a deep, dark secret? They plan to vote for Hillary. FreedomLovers.us was created for singles who want to exchange ideas and who love for freedom. People who are looking for solutions to create and defend freedom in the real world, and at the same time, getting that once in a lifetime chance to find their true soulmate. Whether you are interested in meeting your soulmate, making new friends, networking, or hanging out with that like-minded liberty lover, visit freedomlovers.us. It's the first free dating site and community. So patriots, don't waste your time with other dating sites. freedomlovers.us is the place where like-minded singles really click.
Here we go, guys. This is Luca Zanna. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom. This is the hour about love. And, I always say, what is the most important form of love we can have? Loving each other, love our neighbors. Things are happening in this country and also around the world, not just in America. If you're now standing for the truth, or if you stand at least against this centralized global government that is in plain force right now, in plain action, try to completely confiscate private properties and destroy our rights, you are a target. We know very well. People used to laugh at us a few years ago. Now it's on the open. Official government documents, not just from the American government, but also around the world. If you oppose socialism, if you oppose a global government, if you are against the United Nations, if you are for sovereignty, if you believe that your nation is supposed to have borders, if you're a Christian, if you are gun owners, yeah, that's my point. We are on target. Now, I've been in touch the last few months with different people, several people. Many of them, they're all right now sitting in prison, waiting for really serious sentences. We're talking about 100 years for conspiracies. I already talked to you about many of them. We had people from the Bundys, people from the Bundy standoff. We had people from the Oregon. I don't even want to call it standoff. There was a peaceful, let's say, demonstration of rights. The peaceful way to say, hey, federal government, read the Constitution. You're infringing on our rights. You're abusing your powers. Okay, nobody got hurt. Nobody got shot. But anyway, the point is not even that now. The point is talking about love. We got to be without fear. We got to be fearless to try to talk about things that they're happening to people that they are close to us. Now, I don't know everything. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge, not because I believe in judges. The federal judges, unfortunately, they are just the executioners paid by the state. So I don't have trust in them, unfortunately. But all I know that I've been in touch with many of these people, and I know that they never committed any crime before. At least most of them, they are completely law-abiding citizens, the people that I interact with. And now they're facing all these very serious sentences. Some of these people, they're members of the media. That's very disturbing, because these strange coincidences start to happen now. If you're part of an independent media and talking about things that they don't want to hear it, you are pretty much a target. Now, specifically, I had a gentleman that has been on my show many times. And very sadly, just 3 days before he got arrested, and now we will go more how it happened, by federal agents, he called me. And he wanted to be back. He has some informations. He's been following all the events since day one of what happened and what's been happening in Oregon during this big ordeal with the Bundys, the Oregon, the BLM, and everything else. So it's been a very important part to connect the dots of what had been going on there. And I feel very bad because 3 days before I got this phone call, we were calling, he called me, I was in my kitchen, and said, Mike, what's going on? I got information, I got new updates and things like that. I said, okay, that's great. Let's get together on Friday. And Friday he got arrested. And that was a few weeks ago. I've been waiting. As I said, I don't know all the events. Mistakes can be done. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that just because you speak with me and we believe in the same cause, we're all perfect. If there are some federal laws, even I don't agree, even I think they are completely wrong and unconstitutional, and then we will go more into details. there's still laws. Even, of course, for me, there should be null and void. But that's not the point. The point is now this man is rotting in jail. And I want to know why he does not even have a chance to get out with some sort of a bond. Nobody got harmed. This guy is not a fly risk. His name is Michael Emry from the Voice of Idaho News. Very important independent news that has been doing a great job in Idaho to broadcast news. And, normally I would talk with his wife, but she told me that she doesn't feel like to talk on the radio. I respect that. So I have a friend here that she's very good and she's been following all this information. So I really want to bring her on. And sorry if today I feel a little bit tired or exhausted. I've been shooting at 132 degrees in the desert. I've been testing the rifle today. So that's pretty much why if you find me a little bit slow, that's why. Anyway, Vicki, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, sorry for my rant, but I wanted just to give it a short story of what's going on. Your name is Vicki Davis, right, Vicki?
Yes, and I'm the what you might call the lead writer and researcher for TBOI News. Most of the articles that you see on TBOI News, I wrote. So
very good, and I really appreciate that. You do a great job, by the way. I read your news, and I think it's a great, very important way to create independent media. And I invite everybody else in their wherever they live. You're working and you create this for the Idaho News. But, every state, every community should have some sort of a service like you do. So really, thank you very much. Now, I also know that you're pretty much updated of all the situation of what happened to Michael Emry. For many of my listeners, maybe they don't know what happened to him. I would like to give the short story, if you can. Please, exactly out of the blue, he was covering the news, and then, boom, he was taken. Can you give exactly the date, if you can, who took him, and under which charges, and then we'll go from there.
Well, the date of that the search warrant was executed was May 6th. And they executed the search warrant and arrested Michael and because he had a parts kit. It was not a fully functioning machine gun, but I have to explain that Michael was a foreign weapons specialist. And he loved guns, loved to talk about guns, which I'm sure you know because you like guns too.
Yes. He's been talking about guns on my show many times. Yes.
Yeah. So what he had was a parts kit that had two pieces. Did not have a stock. It didn't have a tripod. It didn't have a belt, to feed the bullets, and he didn't have any bullets.
Okay.
So basically, it was just a piece of steel that could be turned into a machine gun by an expert, which Michael was. But what Michael was trying to do with the media was to convey the message because things have gone so horribly wrong in this country. And Michael saw the same thing happen in third world countries where he learned his trade and he worked in this kind of business. He saw the same things happening in this country that he saw happen in third world countries. And he wanted to stop it. And the way you stop it is through public information, providing information to the public. And most people who, are the couch lizards who sit on their couch and watch the TV, they have no idea that our government is paying our media, under the guise of education. So we have a controlled media just like the Soviet Union.
Yes.
So people are not getting the information that they need to make informed decisions. And so what Michael's idea was to become alternate media and to organize people to become their own media.
Now, let me ask you something. So the charges, because I know that was a very big display of force. for what I read on the news, they were FBI agents, like coming like Bin Laden was in town. Of course, Bin Laden was part the story. I don't know if you know, but I really believe that's a sham. But the point is, that was serious. They came after him and his wife like they were Bonnie and Clyde. I mean, the way they arrested them, the way they executed this arrest. This guy has not, that I'm aware, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know any type of a serious criminal record. And all he's been doing is been peacefully exercising his First Amendment record, doing the news on the open. He wasn't hiding. He was there in front of everybody doing his duty and also his right, exercising his right as an American. So that's the point. They treat him like he was a serious criminal. And now you tell me, of course, don't get me wrong, 1934 National Firearm Act, I think is a joke, just because the government said that now they decide how many inches your barrel can be, or like, for example, tomorrow the government can say how many rounds your gun can, your magazine can have. You become a felon overnight. I mean, but even if they want to play that game, they will still need to establish really if it was really done wrong, because according to the news, that's why I don't trust any of the official news. The report was that this gun was almost ready to fight on his own. Okay. This machine gun. And, I also want to be fair. I read that Mike said something in a statement that he signed to the FBI. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I read through the news, that somehow he confessed something that was a machine gun. I don't know. That's why I'm asking you, because, they can say on the newspaper whatever they want. I don't know. But even if it was true, that a piece of metal with some expert hands, it could become a machine gun. Nobody got killed. My point, nobody got killed. There was no robbery. There was no really harm. There was no victim yet. Okay. So now the way that this man is still sitting in jail without bail, am I right or wrong? Go ahead.
You're right. He is sitting in jail. But the thing is that I'm getting feedback here.
Okay, let's find out why. Let's see. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I listen you clear. I can hear you clear. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm still okay. I'm still getting feedback. There's kind of a delay.
Who knows?
But maybe I'll just try to proceed.
Yeah, go ahead. Continue, please.
Okay. The reason why they treated Michael as if they were arresting Al Capone was because Michael was involved in a case in Tennessee in 1999 in which he was working with the ATF and he infiltrated a drug ring. And when he testified in court, he testified as to his expertise as a foreign weapons specialist, as a weapons specialist.
Okay.
And but in that case, Michael was not a defendant. He was not on trial.
Yeah.
He didn't even have an attorney. He was testifying for the government.
Wow.
Well, what Les Zates did, who is the lead reporter for Oregon Live, I guess it is, the Oregon Times or whatever, the local media in rural Oregon. He wrote articles that made it seem like Michael was an absolute monster.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way you read it.
Using the testimony from that old case. So he just lied unbelievably. Now, Michael does not have a record. He has never done anything.
Yeah.
He's 54 years old, which is past the age, when men are hot-headed and do stupid things. That was not Michael. But what Les Zates did not want was for Michael to set up a competing media operation. Because Les Zates is involved in all kinds of shady deals. getting grants from the federal government for environmental cleanup and stuff. I mean, the guy has property that is, Les Zaitz, his brother, and his wife, Scotta Callister, they have property, large amounts of property that's really prime property. And they are drawing grant money from the federal government. Les Zaitz is a grant writer.
Wow.
And so they did not want another competing media operation in that area because it would expose what Les Zaitz is doing.
Wow.
Okay.
This is very serious. I mean, my point now, even if you want, even for people that, let's say, do not believe in what we believe, and they may think the BLM is great, and the federal government must control all our land, and the Constitution is just nothing. The point is, now this can happen to any one of us. There is a point that there is no more due process. Seriously. I mean, we have completely the destruction of the Bill of Rights. The fact that we can face consequences of charges that they really don't even fit the crime that doesn't exist. Even if Mike, for example, really did something wrong with this sort of having a part of a machine gun that could have been set up as a machine gun. I mean, we're talking about there is no victim. There is no really anybody harmed. And this guy, as you said, has no previous criminal record. Okay, he's not like a professional criminal. So now to keep treating him like this sort of a danger number one, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's in isolation too. I have no idea. But I know all the other political dissidents, that they were at the bandits or they were in Oregon, they were being tortured almost 30, 40, 50 days in isolation. Even if you are a child rapist, you do that, you get that treatment. So this is very serious. Did you have a chance to talk to him lately?
Yes, I talk to Michael just about every day.
Where is he?
I've been working on a motion for the court. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a legal aid or anything like that. But I am a researcher, and so I have been working on a motion, and so I've been talking to him about every day. And I haven't written any articles about Michael's status because I wasn't sure if it would hurt him or help him, and I didn't want to do anything to hurt him. But in the past day and a half, I've received information that lets me know I really absolutely must write articles.
Tell us everything. Please, go ahead. If you want to be on record something important, go ahead.
Well, it's a longer story than what I can do on the radio.
Okay.
But I am writing a couple of articles, and I will tell everything in those articles. But Michael should not be in jail.
Okay.
Let's say. But fortunately, he is not in isolation. He's in Lane County Corrections, which is a county jail. But at the pretrial hearing, the prosecutor used all the information directly from Les Zaitz's articles, and which include testimony of that old case. And even the prosecutor, he was dishonest in his presentation to the judge. He committed a fraud upon the court because he presented the information in that case as if Michael was a defendant.
Wow.
And he was not a defendant. So you might say it would be correct to say that Michael is in jail not because of his past history, not because of what he did, but because of what he knows, what he knows how to do.
Wow.
And
so now knowledge is a crime. I mean, I may be learning things from books, and I can learn a lot of things, and it can become, let's say, some sort of a pre-crime. Like they can put you in jail for things that you may do just because you know how to do it. not because you've done it. Wow.
Well, right. And everything that Michael learned, he learned while working for the government. I mean, you don't become a foreign weapons specialist by, working for some random corporation somewhere. You learn that when you're working for the government, either directly or on contract.
Wow.
And so,
what
Mike,
is next now? What is the next event in the, let's say, in the court date that's going to be important for Michael?
okay. Well, there was just a hearing on the 24th. That was the release, the pretrial release hearing. And because of the testimony of the prosecutor, or the argument of the prosecutor, and Michael's so-called defense attorney, his limp-wristed non-defense of Michael, they decided to detain Michael and not let him out. So his next hearing is on July 11th.
Wow, July 11th. Okay, I mean, why is Rod in there? I mean, that's very much disturbing that, I know through the news that people who did very heinous crimes, like, raping, like, violence on others, with the real victims, they got bonds. They got out. Okay? I mean, if you do a bank robbery, you can get out on bond, for God's sake, if you got the money. I mean, this is very, very serious and sad. And this is exactly why, not only because I've been having Mike many times on the show, I wanted to know some updates, because this is exactly the purpose of the show. We are living right now already in a soft, no more really soft anymore, tyranny. It is already martial law. The Constitution, the Bill of Rights is null and void. When you see that the state can throw you in jail just because they feel like it, and there is no more the due process, the basic, defense, let's say check and balance between what the government can do and cannot do. The National Defense Authorization Act, I'm never going to get tired to say this over and over, in 2012, that was passed by Obama in Congress, signed by Obama, and of course, worked by Congress. It is not a conspiracy. And now maybe they want to still keep this on the open, but technically they don't even need this anymore. They can detain you indefinitely just because they don't like your smell, just because they don't like your face, just because they don't like your ideas, just because you're suspected. And I remind you the word suspected to be a terrorist. And terrorist, what does it mean today? We know very well, according to the federal government, if you're a Christian, if you don't believe in the globalism, you don't believe in the New World Order, if you believe in private property, you become if you're a veteran, of course, you're top of the list. Terrorist, domestic terrorist. That's what's happening right now. Now, what can we do to help Mike? Is there any way we can do some help here from humble little people? Maybe, I don't know, sending a phone call, maybe sending a little donation. Any way we can do something?
If people want to donate, they can send money, for Michael's commissary or telephone, and or they can send a donation to Becky, and she will make sure that the money goes to his commissary or telephone account.
Is there a website or something that we can find out more details?
I will be posting. Becky just got a PayPal account, and but I haven't had the chance yet to write an article to post it up on TBOI News. But I will do that.
Okay.
I'll do that tonight, as a matter of fact.
Very good. And as you can, I invite people to go to lovegunsfreedom.com, lovegunsfreedom.com. I did it in the past. I did it for everybody of these political prisoners. They're in jail and waiting for trial. Hopefully they're going to get a fair trial, I hope. Meanwhile, even just for the basic things, like you said, even just to have a little money to make a phone call or maybe to buy some decent food, because, not exactly they get good food there. And they are pretty much with the regular jail population. Even if you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, that's not the case. They treat you already like you're scum. So we got to do what we can. I will put a post on lovegunsfreedom.com, the link as I have it, to try to, as I said, find out more about Michael. You probably, if you're a listener, you already know a lot about his interviews. But now, I think you should Google him and try to find out, especially through the Voice of Idaho News. There is a lot of great articles. And when you have your new article out, send this to me, please. I will post it also on Facebook. And when people needs to be involved, because I understand some of you may say, oh, this is not happening to me. Guess what? Next time could be probably maybe your daughter, your son, or yourself. So you better start doing something.
Yeah, absolutely. You are so right. Everybody is at risk, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Because this government has no respect for our Constitution. They have no respect for our laws, and they have absolutely zero respect for the American people.
This is, I tell you, I don't even think anymore this is our government anymore. This is the government of foreign corporations and globalist bankers, because now we know very well, and their plan is on the open. All this drama with the BLM try to, and successfully, not just trying to confiscate property from American people that were using it or even owning it. It is part of this plan. And the plan is that Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030, it is in full action. So what they want now and why, they're not trying to save the little monkeys or the crickets or anything. It's not about even that. Even that would be futuristic, it would be ridiculous. But the point is they want to keep this American land that never in the Constitution was written that's supposed to be under the federal control, especially of a tyrannical president that just with a stroke of a pen can get millions of acres, like a little dictator from Kenya that he is. Never happened. We have this reality now. And the point is we have to start to understand that we are under occupation. And this is no more the land of the free, and it's our duty to take it back. And how we do that, we got to first of all realize, admit it, we have a problem. We are no more what we used to be. And how we take it back, we got to study our rights. There are a few thousand words. It's a small booklet, but it's so important. The Constitution is not just to put it on the wall. It's to understand that if you do not know your rights, you have no rights. That's the bottom line. And the first thing we got to understand that they are the criminals, they are the trespassers. These people, they're using not more the rule of law, but the rule of who has the bigger guns. And now they think they have all the guns, almost. So that's the point. That's why we got to stop this. And we got to educate ourselves, and we got to stand behind our fellow Americans. Now, I want to give you the floor, the last thing, whatever you want to say about Michael or about the Voice of Idaho, you got the floor.
Okay, well, Michael, I've known Michael for a couple of years, and we worked very closely on TBOI News. And Michael is a good man. He's a very kind man, and he cares. He cares so much about this country and the future of this country. And I wish that people cared only half as much as Michael does, because if they did, they'd get off their couch and actually do something to save this country. And if they don't, the future for their children and their grandchildren is grim beyond what I can describe. I just saw a ceremony that was done in Europe for dignitaries in Europe of the opening of the tunnel under the Swiss Alps.
Yeah,
and this ceremony was satanic. And I'm asking everybody, go find that ceremony and watch it, because that is what your world is becoming. They call it the opening of the gates of hell.
Yep.
And that's what's happening. The gates of hell are opening.
Yes.
And
I'm glad you brought it up, because I was going to talk today about it a little bit briefly. You're very well right. This is not more about politics. This is not more about little corruption, or try to always some politicians try to get more than they need to get. This is about on the open right now. It's a battle between good and evil. That normally this battle was another dimension. Now it's happening really in our dimension, planet Earth. Now, how do they operate? The forces of evil, they are using what normally in this reality we face. Laws, government, politicians. I mean, if what you said, that this big event of this celebration of this, huge, probably the biggest, the most expensive tunnel crossing, part of Switzerland with the rest of Europe, that was an event with the biggest, let's say, numbers of European elected or selected public servants, or whatever you want to call leaders. Okay, this is not just some private meeting that people, they are wearing horns and they like to worship Beelzebub. That would be bad enough, but that's their business. No, these people, they're supposed to be in charge of our tax dollars, in charge of our decision. So these people that they're skating, they represent governments and they control the powers in the government. They sold out to the devil. When you watch the video, it's very clear. You are selling to the devil. There is no halfway. You want to cut it down. Watch it, people. And that's the point. That's why it's coming almost to a biblical prophecy. I'm not trying to preach because I'm a sinner, but the reality is this is coming down to a level that we're going to be persecuted. Everybody who opposes this global government, New World Order, today is June the 5th, 2016. If in the future, in the next few years, you listen to this broadcast, I hope we were wrong, but unfortunately it's happening. So there is no way to go back. We got to face it. We got to have faith, help each other. That's why this show is called Love, Guns, and Freedom. Love is the biggest weapon. Love means that you are not afraid to stand for the truth, to stand for our fellow humans, to stand for your beliefs. That's the weapon, number one, love and knowledge. And then, of course, we need guns to defend our freedom too, but that's another story. Listen, I want to thank you for your courage, for everything you're doing. And I wish the best for Michael. All I can do now is just try to spread this message out. As I said, these are roaches. They're evil leader roaches. They like to operate in the darkness. And they try to take us one by one. And hopefully nobody else knows. Like, when you got a pack of coyotes, they go come at night and they go after one sheep at a time. That's why they want to keep the rest of the herd calm. Yes, we got to wake up and scream and yell. So let's say also start to make phone calls if we can. Find out exactly where Michael, in which prison he is. And hopefully with your article, we can get more information, phone numbers, the prosecutor and everybody else and the judge. And say, you know what, you scum, we are watching you. Okay, that's the bottom line. We are watching you. Maybe a few thousands today, but we may become more millions, hopefully pretty soon. I better go, otherwise I get my pressure high. Listen, I want to thank you again, and I'll keep me posted as you have more news, okay?
I sure will. Thank you, Luca.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Guys, you're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. I got to jump in the jacuzzi. I'm really getting warm. As I said, I was for a couple hours under 133 degrees doing the testing the Don't Tread on Us rifle, and I love it. But, I'm a human being. I'm not made of steel yet. Probably I would melt it. Anyway, and these topics really wear me down, because it breaks my heart. I've been talking to Mike for almost 1 year more. And to see him gone now, this is not good. Because I know I probably, any one of us could be the next. Seriously, this is no way to live life. Just because we exercise our First Amendment, just because maybe you have a piece of metal sitting in your garage that maybe with few hours of work can become a machine gun. Yeah, I can get a machine gun out of a car if I have to. I mean, there is a point is, even if you committed this sort of infringement on this federal law, nobody got harmed. Like tomorrow, they can put you in jail in many states already, like California, just because you have 11 rounds instead of 10, rather than 10 in that magazine. How evil you are. With 10, you're good. You're a good slave. But with 11 rounds in that magazine, you become a felon. Think about it, how much tyranny already we have. Anyway, I'll talk to you soon. Let me jump in the jacuzzi. I'll talk to you from there. Don't go away. In this world, where everything seems to be going sideways, when you need things set straight, Zanna Coffee Straight Shot Espresso. Start your day with a bang. The best organic and GMO-free coffee beans from around the world to amplify your senses and enhance love for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Zanna Coffee brings you happiness in every cup. Fair trade, certified, sustainable, organic coffee. That means we do not use slaves. Free Zanna songs with every coffee bag. Find Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com www.zannacoffee.com. Don't be cheap, you deserve the best. Get Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com. Okay guys, you're listening to Love, Guns and Freedom with Luca Zanna on K-Talks 1340 AM. I am just back from Lake Havasu City. I don't even think it's Arizona. I think it's hell. 132 degrees under the sun, maybe even 133. And I've been shooting the Don't Trade on Us rifle with my friend Chris from Havasu Guns. Cold beer. Great. Anyway, it was a great experience. I mean, shooting a rifle at that type of extreme temperature, and to see how it performs, that's very important. I've been shooting different type of rounds, and of course, I learned something about it. First of all, I want to say, here we go. I have a beautiful Stella Artois beer, really good stuff. And also I have some great Black Bridge Brewery beer from Kingman, where, by the way, you can also buy the Zanna coffee there in Kingman at the Black Bridge Brewery. Anyway, let me have a sip because I'm thirsty, man. 1 sec. That was good. All right. By the way, don't drink a cold beer after you come back from a 130 degrees. First, you need to, let's say, get your body used to. Okay, so I went already through warm water. Anyway, so the point is what I learned today from this shooting experience, that the Don't Trade on Us rifle performs greatly, but you need to watch the ammunition. Normally, I've been shooting steel case ammo with no problems, like for example the Wolf or the Brown Bear. Normally when everything below 100 degrees, they are fine. Nope, really no jams. They cycle perfectly. But today at 132 degrees, we started to have some problems with the extraction because the heat expands the case too much, and the lacquering, this sort of a special almost substance that try to keep the gun, their ammunition fluid, or at least, smooth, start to melt. So we have a couple of problems with extraction, but when you use brass case, 5.56 or 223, they are great. So I'm very impressed with the rifle. Of course, you have to wear gloves because 133 degrees, I'm telling you, your hands start to really burn. So that was an incredible experience. Now, this is the hour about love. I don't want to talk too much about guns right now. That's why I'm having a beer. And by the way, I'm going to broadcasting probably from my jacuzzi. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to put now a little song, and I want to just relax and share a couple news while I'm drinking my beer and talk to you from my jacuzzi. I know this is not really exactly the typical radio show that normally everything comes and go from the studio. No, I like to be in different places. Like for example, right now I'm in my kitchen and I'm enjoying my beer, beautiful cold beer that is so good, especially after you shoot all day at 133 degrees. Beer is the way to go. And then, of course, I'm going to finish this broadcast today from my beautiful jacuzzi, okay? So we can talk a little bit, and we'll talk about love, news, and different things. Now, a little song, and you're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. Don't go away.
One more time. You are my sunshine.
Okay, guys, here I am. If you can hear the noise of the water, yes, this is real water. This is not the sound effects. Oh my gosh, I am in my place of meditation, my jacuzzi. I have two places that I like very much to meditate, and normally where I write songs or think about ideas, projects. One is here in my indoor little jacuzzi area, and then is on top of a hill, one of my favorite places in Arizona, where I have my place, my little retreat, and I have on top of my hill this cast iron bathtub. That for me it's even better than the jacuzzi. I love it, by the way, and it's facing the immense, beautiful valley of green and trees and animals and deers and coyotes and crows. I mean, it's so beautiful there. Anyway, when I'm indoor, this is the place. And I tell you, it's a great place because after all, this show, as I said, is called Love, Guns and Freedom. It is not just about always running and thinking about. It's also about stopping for a moment, slowing down, try to recuperate energy to be able to fight another day. Otherwise, we completely consume ourselves. So much going on. This is so amazing how much going on. You know, I said, we had an interview before with this guest regarding talking about Michael Emry, the voice of Idaho, right now rotting in this jail. And many other people like him. They're facing hundreds of years in prison, federal prison, for conspiracy. I mean, this show is a conspiracy if you think about it, just because we try to expose the corruption of this global government, and corrupted politicians try to destroy our republic. That's a conspiracy right there against their evil. That's what it's about. It's a battle between good and evil. And you will face this many times in your life, and maybe even in your day. And it's up to you. I'm not going to tell you when you need to pick up a fight or not. But the point is, we have to decide now. Even just standing up, even just speaking up, that's the thing we should do, in my opinion. We cannot let this happen to others, because otherwise we're going to be the others pretty soon. So anyway, in this place, this humble place that for me is my little meditation place. I don't go to Hawaii. I don't go anymore. I don't travel. I don't even like to cross the state line. But you know what? I've been around the world before I came to America. I've seen more than I wanted to see, more than I probably needed to see. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy it. I enjoy because it gave me the opportunity to open my mind, to realize that this is the place where I want to stay. And I'm not here because I didn't see the rest. No, I've seen everything else, at least a lot. And I tell you, even with all the imperfections that we have in this country, because it's been taken over, I'm telling you, this is the place that is the last island of hope that we have as free human beings. Somebody before us fought and died and bled for to create an experiment called these United States of America. Okay? And the problem is, it's our problem. It's our fault. We let it go. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't perfect. But for sure, in 5,000 years of civilization, of governments of the world, nobody else ever had a solution like this republic. It was, and it is unique. So that's why I tell you, I'm here, and I enjoy every second. Right now, before I'm going to talk about serious topics, I wanted to just share, I really enjoy little things in life. I don't need to eat fancy food. I don't need to have expensive wines. I like simple but good and organic things, okay? I don't eat garbage, that's for sure. But right now I'm enjoying my little moment of peace. Some beautiful organic dates from California. One of the few last things that in the state is still happening. Sorry, guys, you're gone almost, but at least you still do some good dates, and they're organic, no pesticides. So I'm having that. Very good. I really need these minerals to replenish, After 2 hours standing in this
range, at the range in Lake Havasu at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon with my friend Chris from the Havasu range, from the Havasu guns store. I mean, 132 degrees is not exactly for human, okay? But it was great. I'm doing fine. I drank plenty of water, and now since I'm cool off, and I'm having some dates, and I'm having some great beer. I had some Black Bridge Brewery from my friend Tim Schroeder from Kingman. By the way, as I said before, at the Black Bridge Brewery you can also find the Zanna coffee, that I invite you really to go there. If you want, you can buy the bag. I appreciate it, supports the show. Or if you want, you just can drink a cup. Beautiful cold brew coffee that is really, really good. Anyway, now, what I want to talk about this is the moment that, as I said, every one of us needs to decide they want to stand up or not. Being silent is not going to make you innocent. To be silent today means you're guilty. If you don't speak up, your silence is consent. That's a fact. I watched a video just a couple of days ago about these violent acts of cowardice of these anti-Trump supporters. Don't get me wrong, this is not even about Trump. You know, if you don't like Trump, I couldn't care less. I would talk about this even if it was a Hillary supporter or a Bernie supporters or any supporters out there. Nobody deserved to be violently, cowardly attacked just because of their ideas, just because they try to exercise the First Amendment. That's the point. Then, of course, when you are somebody that also you're a coward, and I would like to say more, but I am on the air after all. Even, of course, I'm in my jacuzzi, but I'm on the air. So I have some FCC limitations, and I have a long list of names I would like to call you. But I cannot do that, otherwise the station would be probably fined and shut down. So I will limit to that. You are a bag of dirty crap and cowards. Every one of you that try also to surround a woman who's standing for ideas, regardless you like it or not, and you scum, probably don't even speak English, and not because I speak better, but the point is I'm an American at least. Okay? You hate this country. You come here, you don't even love it. You're so brainwashed, so messed up in your brain that you think this is your land. You know, if it was your land, go back where you're from. But my point is, regardless what land it is, you do not attack, surround an innocent woman on American soil like a pack of dirty coyotes, spitting on her, throwing eggs at her, and be ready also to go physical and shame on all the cops of the San Jose or wherever they were, these places. They did not defend the right of this woman and many other people like her. As I said, if you don't like Trump, that's not the point. I'm not a Trump supporter either. That's not about Trump. It's about freedom of speech. That's what it is about. Okay? So be clear. I would have said that even if it was Bernie Sanders support that I detest, or Hillary, or Bush, I don't care. Nobody deserves to be physically attacked for their ideas in America. Okay? And then when I see, of course, men, or what they're supposed to look like men, for me, as I said, they're a pack of garbage, not even human excrement. They are subhuman excrement walking on legs in numbers because they're cowards, of course. And they need to attack this poor woman on video. It makes me really boil my blood. I have no more restraint. And what I really am sad, I said on this post on Facebook, where are the men? Where are the police? That's the disturbing thing. 2016, we have become a country of neutered, spineless, full of estrogen men. And I'm not trying to be mean, it's a fact. I don't think 50 years ago your fathers or grandfathers would allow this stuff. It would have started a revolution on the street. You spit on American woman just because of her head or their political affiliation. You threaten her with violence on our soil. You throw eggs at her. Should be right there. American people taking arms and kicking these bastards out. And then, of course, shame on the police. Even if they had to follow the orders, I don't care. You wearing that badge. You took an oath to defend this republic, to defend our constitution, to defend our rights. That's why you're supposed to be there, not to collect tickets. Okay? Shame on you. How can you wear the uniform tomorrow morning? When you saw what was happening there, you didn't do anything. And that's why we just watched the video. There are many other cases or many other videos. So, as much as I'm trying to be calm, as I said, this is the hour about love, I need to talk about this. There is something we must do. We must start to understand that we are under attack also chemically. I believe it. We are what we eat. And I'm not telling you what to eat. I couldn't care less. But I tell you something, man. If you start to drink garbage, eat garbage, and eat estrogen all day long, and yes, one of the things you do, you eat that probably twice a day, the burger coming from hell, full of estrogen. And I'm not telling you do not eat meat. That's up to you. I couldn't care less. The point is, at least if you eat meat, eat good meat. Do not eat something that resounds like some sort of a pharmaceutical, list of chemicals. In this normal now meat, you got estrogens, you got antibiotics, you got growth hormone. And I tell you, estrogen is the most important thing to destroy your manhood. Come on, if you eat estrogen all day, you become a woman. Or at least you become half enough. And that's why this country is going to hell. That's why people are not standing up anymore. I really believe it. Then you put some over-medication for your brain that they give you now every time you have a headache. Doctors give you mind control prescriptions. You become a zombie. That's why we're becoming a nation of zombies. That's why I say, please, if you're listening to the show, don't think I'm crazy. And if you think I'm crazy, I couldn't care less, really. But if you realize that you're already taking 2 or 3 medications for your brain, probably you don't need, maybe. Find other solutions. Take care of yourself. We need everybody. We need each other. We need to be healthy, mentally and physically. That's why unfortunately, we are being taken over. So anyway, that's the point. Now, talking about love, I created this website a couple years ago called freedomlovers.us. And I want to go back on the air to bring singles. It's like some sort of a dating on the air system that I introduce singles, men and women, that who love freedom. I'm not telling you what to believe, but the only thing I ask you that we respect each other. You don't want to impose your beliefs on others. And you believe in our basic rights, enumerated in our Bill of Rights, and also in the principles of our Declaration of Independence. That's it. I don't care if you're from Mars, America, Germany, all I care that you believe in these ideals, and I welcome you on the show, okay? So, that's the idea. So if you want to be on my show, just give me a ring. In this case, send me an email. Go to lovegunsfreedom.com. Oh, it's so beautiful. I love cold water. Lovegunsfreedom.com, and you can find my email. And then say, I want to be on the show, Luca. And I call you and I put you on the show. Then, of course, you can promote yourself. Tell us about you, what you believe, what you like. Send me also a photo. I will post it on lovegunsfreedom.com. And then I also invite you to join www.freedomlovers.us. 100% free. There is no even credit card request. Nothing. How does it happen? It's free. Yes, it's free because it's my act of love. I want to create a community where American people or people from around the world who believe in freedom can join and meet together to become friends, to network, and even, why not, to date. Now, how do I make the money there? Guess what? You can help me out. That's the way I can support this show. That's the way I can support these ideas. First of all, I'll give you different ideas. from the most affordable, just 99 cents. I mean, if you don't have 99 cents, I feel sorry for you, seriously. But I know you have it, you can help. Go to Zanna, www.zanna.us. You see that I wrote more than 100 songs in the last probably 18 years. I'm a little songwriter, from love songs to patriotic songs to rebellious songs, instrumental songs. That's what I do. I like to write songs. So you can download any of my songs, even individually, for just 99 cents. Go to zanna.us. That's number one way. Then you can go to, for example, Zanna Art, ZANNAART.com. And you can see there are t-shirts, there are paintings, and the different beautiful things. A copy of the Constitution, little gift ideas. Come on, for anybody, very affordable price. Then, of course, if you want to do it, coffee. If you drink coffee already every day, I'm not going to feel sorry to ask you. So then just buy regular GMO, full of garbage and pesticides coffee. Go to www.zannacoffee.com. And you have 3 beautiful, unique, delicious blends, organic, GMO-free. One is straight shot espresso. Start your day with a bang. Great coffee. You can also grind for American coffee, not just for espresso. And then you have also the 1776 great dark roast and the coffee to brew a revolution. 1776. And then there is, for the more medium roast, great American coffee, organic. There is the new blend called Route 66 coffee. Amazing taste. Great prices. And also when you buy 3, you get a super special flat rate shipping. With every bag, you get 2 free songs of mine to download. What can I say? If you want to help the show, you got a chance. And as I said, this is not the government. Nobody's forcing you to do anything. But this is the way you can. If you want to support the show, that's the way you can do it. Otherwise, that's fine. I continue to do my life and you do yours. So, I think it's time to dress up. It was a great, refreshing moment from my contemplation, meditation. I don't do yoga. I don't believe in this stuff. But, for me, this is my yoga. Be in peace, no noises, just being here with the water, pretty much my element. I love water. Even I live now in the desert. I don't need to go to the ocean to have water. I have here in my jacuzzi, I got great water from my well. And I put some sea salt. I feel like I'm in Malibu without being California, without the freaking parasitic government. I think it's great. And I gotta keep also my guns here, so that's great. Okay, guys, you'll be listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna, a little bit of music. And all I can say, God's willing, I'll talk to you next Sunday. Thank you very much for listening.